And joining us now, great to welcome to our Book Talk segment on Talk Across America, author of a brand new novel out getting a lot of great press. It's called The Intermission, and it's about a marriage and what happens when both people decide to, I guess that's what the title says, take a break. And we're joined today by Elyssa Friedland, who wrote the book, and she's based up in New York City, my former hometown. Still my hometown, but even though I'm in Florida, and she joined us by telephone. Elyssa, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have a chance to chat with you for a couple of minutes. Now with authors of novels, I don't like to give away too much, so I hope I didn't give away too much in that little introduction there, but I guess that's really the plot of it, right?
Yes. So Cass and Jonathan Coyne, married couple, been together for 5 years, and they're about to start trying to have a baby. They want to start a family until Cass, the wife, has a little bit of a freak out and feels like maybe she's not sure that she and Jonathan are right for each other. There are some secrets in her past and in Jonathan's, and she asks him for a 6-month intermission from the marriage.
I've heard people talk about, in different interviews, or you read that maybe marriage wouldn't be so bad if you had to renew it every 5 years or something,
exactly.
Or whatever the period is. I don't know if that's ever going to take off, but that seems to be a more popular thought nowadays. What do you think?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think a lot of people wouldn't mind a little break every now and then. It's probably not the most realistic thing for most people, especially once children come into the picture, but there have definitely been people who are like, when I tell them about the book, they're like, that actually sounds really nice.
Maybe every 3 or 5 year, like a contract, and both people have to agree to stay in, and if you don't, you just walk away. But yeah, I agree that with kids involved, it's different. If there's no kids involved, that would be a lot easier, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, talk a little bit about how you came up with this story. I mean, you're a married woman yourself, so I don't know, I hope it wasn't in your own life this came up, but where'd you get the idea?
Sometimes I can't even remember exactly what led to all the details of the book, but I do know that my inspiration to write about marriage in general came from one day being in my kitchen and just watching my husband load the dishwasher, and we've been together for 13 years, married for almost 12, and things are great. And, we squabble every now and then, like every married couple, but things are good. We have 3 small children.
Right.
But one day I was in the kitchen, and he was cleaning the dishes, which is nice of him I will admit it was very nice of him to do it, but he was doing it so slowly, and he just couldn't seem to, expedite this task very quickly. He was studying every dish, every fork, every spoon, trying to decide exactly where was the perfect place for it, and I just felt like all this rage bubble inside me, and I thought, I think I'm going to write about it. Book about marriage, and there you go. Here's the book.
Yeah, you talk in the notes about the book. I mean, that happens in the story, so that about the washing dishes part. But no, the characters of the book, obviously, you base them on, I guess, some people, or I guess a conglomeration of people that you meet along the way, or how do you go about it when you write a novel?
Everybody's a composite. It's not anybody specific, and I'm not just saying that to cover my butt. It's really the truth. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be very interesting to me to just write about someone I already know. It's much more interesting to take inspiration from people I know, from characters in other books and movies and TV, and just combine traits. And I don't even do it. It's not even done on purpose. I'm not, thinking to myself, I'll take Sarah's humor and Jackie's stubbornness and I'll roll it into one character. It's not like that at all. It's a much more subtle, subconscious process.
Right.
But I for sure take inspiration from the people around me.
Now, in the book, again, the couple, the main characters, and obviously as the story unfolds, again, I don't want to give away too much, but secrets tend to bubble to the top. Can you give a hint of what may be going on there to the readers or future readers?
There is some infidelity. I wanted to tackle infidelity head on in the book because I think it really is one of the biggest reasons why marriages fail. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to be monogamous, and I wanted to deal with that difficult issue and not just, stay away from it because it's, such a hot-button topic. And then there's some other different kinds of secrets that don't necessarily seem like such a big deal, except that they've been secret for so long that they've kind of snowballed. And I think those types of secrets are even more interesting because they're not so big, but then the longer they're kept secret, they take on a life of their own.
The woman in the book gets involved with a Hollywood producer, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a hot button topic today, with what's been going on out there. So I guess you touch on that a little bit.
Well, what's crazy is that I wrote it before the whole Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, and I've always been interested in that, in the relationship between powerful men and women who work for them, and I just thought that was really ripe for exploration in a novel, and I wrote it, and then all of a sudden the whole thing broke, and I couldn't believe it. I'm glad I did it before it all happened, so that I didn't shy away from something that is, so in the news and so topical. It's not typically what I write about. I do more like domestic dramas, and I don't really tackle like hot-button political issues. But meanwhile, I did it first, and I'm glad I did, because now I'm really part of the conversation.
Right, yeah, of course. That has a lot more to come out, I'm sure, but that's really where it's all going right now. Now, this is kind of, as they say, a great summer type of read, so I know a lot of people are going to go to the beach. Hopefully, if they don't get it this weekend, they'll get it later in the summer. They can do that. But when you write a book like this, I like to ask, novelists again, dialogue. How do you go about doing your dialogue? Do you talk it out? Do you do it on a tape recorder? Do you write it out? How do you go about it?
I usually close my eyes when I'm thinking of dialogue, because I like to just visualize myself in the spot where the characters are, so I can like really sort of almost watch a play in my head of the conversation, and then I read it out loud once I've written it, because you just can scrap out some of the words that that look good on paper that no one would actually say out loud, and you can kind of develop the more like colloquial shorthand style of speaking that's more natural.
Yeah, because when people talk, it's not like when you write down a sentence, people talk differently, so you have to write it differently,
100%.
don't you? Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. How about the characters? Again, as novelists, do the characters tend to change from where you originally thought they were going to go? I've heard novelists say the story will go in a completely different direction than I originally thought. Has that happened to you?
There was a lot of changing. Yeah. Jonathan became sort of a darker, more nuanced character. Cass became a much more sympathetic character. She was kind of like almost like evil in the beginning, and then as I wrote her, I found myself sympathizing with her, and as I explored her difficult childhood more, I found that she really morphed as a character and became someone like that people would feel sorry for and understand her peculiar behavior a little bit better once they know her backstory.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the show Younger. They kind of did a sort of a copy of your book. I hope. I don't know if you have a lawsuit there or not, but.
I know, it's funny. Actually, one newspaper just reviewed my book together with Marriage Vacation, and I was very happy because my book was reviewed much more favorably.
Right.
Although I haven't read Marriage Vacation, and it could be quite good. I really don't know. And I think Younger is a great, adorable show. But it was funny that we were reviewed together. But I think the premise is still pretty different.
Yeah, I like that show. I like Sutton Foster, big fan of hers from her Broadway talents, but
she's amazing.
She's great. I didn't realize that's a real book then that's on that show. I thought that was just made up. Somebody actually wrote that book?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
And they're selling it now. I don't think it's like, flying off the shelves.
No,
it was a different kind of it's an unusual concept to take a fictitious book and then put it out.
I didn't realize they made it. I just thought they made that up. I thought of it when I got your book. I said they're doing that on Younger, so I wanted
Yeah, no, it's a real book. Yep.
Yeah, well, we don't want them to buy that book. We want them to buy Intermission.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes, me too. Buy the Intermission.
We're just about out of time, but do you have a website, Elyssa, to direct people to get more information?
Yes, www.ElyssaFriedland.com, Elyssa with an E, and I'm also on Instagram at Elyssa Friedland and Twitter at Elyssa Friedland, so come on and follow me.
Great. The Intermission is the title of the book, and we've been talking with Elyssa Friedland today. And Elyssa, great chatting with you. Hopefully we can do it again. And one of these days I'll get back to New York City. I haven't been there in a while. I guess the city's still hopping, right?
It is definitely hopping.
A little hot up there from what I saw.
Back.
Great. Thanks, Elyssa. Good talking to you.
All right. Thank you so much.